Hey guys, hope you're doing all good today. So I've got a very exciting battle for you today, my first ever game with the Tomb Kings. That's right, I ended up, I had a loyalty card actually from where I got my computer, and I took it in. Turns out I could buy a Steam £20 gift voucher with it, and I ended up getting a load of DLCs I don't have. So now the only thing I don't have is the Vampire Coast, which is obviously next on the list. But most importantly, I do have the Blood DLC now as well, so I see lots of blood spraying off of these High Elves now, of course, the Tomb Kings being undead. This is my first ever game with Tomb Kings, didn't really know what to expect, not too normally that big on the undead factions, but I thought I'd give it a go, so let's see what I have. So in the front line, we have gone for Skeleton Spearmen, the chaffiest of the chaff. I'm just hoping they hold a little bit longer than the regular guys. I do have one unit of Skeleton Warriors in the centre, and they are slightly chevroned up, some of the units, but overall they're just to hold the enemy in place. Now the real damage dealers, and one of those units I hate to face, is the Ushopti Greatbows. So I have in fact brought 3 of those, including the Chosen of the Gods, which is the Regiment Renowned version. These guys are just monstrous. They do huge amounts of damage from long range, great at taking down big targets, heroes, elite troops. Overall, these guys are just a super tanky and super good unit. Well, not too tanky actually when they get in combat, but compared to most range units, they are. Now I also have 2 very nasty little Tomb Scorpions right here. These guys, I know the Hives can put a lot of anti-large, but if they keep them moving, they're quite hard to hit. They've got some quite cool attack animations. They dart in and out of the ground, so they're quite hard to pin down. So I've gone for 2 of those to try and mulch through some infantry. And in the back, I do have a Lich Priest of Death here, just with, let's see what they're called again, trying to remember. My sleep-deprived brain's trying to fumble through this a little bit. But I do have a Spirit Leech and the Fate of Buna, which should be pretty damn useful. Now, for our Lord, we have gone for Cetra the Imperishable himself. He does not kneel, he does not bow, he does not serve, he rules. He's going to be up on top of his mighty kitty here, his little stone kitty cat. And let's see what he has. He's brought quite a few spells and a lot of little nice bits of equipment. So he does have the Blessed Blade, he's got the Wrath of Wrath of Pitra, that's what we're going to go with. And there's lots of nasty spells that we'll see throughout the battle. Now, over in the right-hand flank as well, I do have 1 unit of Carrion, and I believe we've got another unit over on the left, just here to chase down troops and be a bit of a pain to that high elf back line. Let's have a little look at my opponent's list. So he's gone for quite a small elite build here, and he's gone for 2 Flamesfire Phoenixes, which I really like in this matchup. Undead tend to have a lot of units which are bad against flaming attacks. Of course, these 5 Phoenixes have flame attacks. They can also drop some rather nicely fire drop-ins on top of my kind of rather chaffy front line. Now he has gone for 2 units of the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers. Great matchup in this as they trade fairly effectively against Ushopti. I'm assuming that's going to be their main target. He does have a couple of units of Lothran Sea Guard, which are chevroned up very highly up to triple silver. And 3 units of Phoenix Guard, which will be a monster against basically my entire army, to be honest. It's going to be good against the constructs, and obviously be able to clear up the chaff rather comfortably. And let's see, is that everything? It may well be. Apart from, of course, his lord, who is the mighty Teclis, who I've been finding a bit of a nuisance recently. I keep charging in there, and it does look like he's an arrow in the head of his horse there, which isn't very good for him. I believe that's Ushopti coming in doing some damage, because he's actually a little bit tanky. So he's super squishy. However, he has some really nasty abilities like the Sword of Teclis. And let's see if he's got the other one, which actually makes him a bit more tanky. There he goes, Potion of Choroy. So you go in there trying to snipe him, and it actually managed to take a little bit more than you would wish. So let's get this battle underway. So we did go for a little attack order originally on Teclis, and it looks like 1 unit has managed to get line of sight. The others did push up a little bit further than anticipated, so I am pulling them back a little bit now. We've done some great damage on Teclis already. It looks like the Flamesfire Phoenix are coming in just to try and fend me off a little bit. They don't want to get too involved just about yet. And we're also going to be unloading round after round into Teclis. You can see the huge amount of damage we've managed to do already. When you've Karen did hop into these Eagle Claw Boat Throws. Got a little bit overzealous there though. I'm trying to pull them back and away from these Flamesfire Phoenix, but it looks like they are going to start to run off the field a little bit prematurely. In the front line, we have just gone balls deep here with the Tomb Scorpion, charging directly into his Phoenix Guard. As I said, he's quite hard to pin down. These Phoenix Guards will actually struggle against this type of unit unless they can pin him in place. And he's now back onto the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. You see we're doing a great job trying to snipe out Teclis now with our archers. And let's see what the rest of our army is doing. So we've just started to move up a little bit. However, because I accidentally left these guys on skirmish, they are going to be fleeing from this Flamesfire Phoenix and running away from my main force, which is I do not want this to happen at all, of course. But unfortunately, a little bit of slip up in my micro there, and it does go. The 2 Tomb Scorpions are in the back. Looks like they just tried to snipe out. Technically, they did a great job. Got him down to 622 health. I really need to pull these Carrion back and start hunting him down. I do not want him to come back. He does have healing, and he could be a big pain. So getting him off nice and early would be really good for me right now. So in the back, it looks like both the Flamesfire Phoenix have hopped on top of these rather expensive Ushopti. However, they're fairly tanky, especially for a range unit. And as one unit fights, the other is just going to be shooting in. I believe they're actually shooting at this one over here for now, going for those long Kobe shots. And they're doing quite a lot of damage to these large targets. So the main front line, of course, not going the best for me. The Skeleton Warriors aren't decent against Phoenix Guard at all. However, we do drop a Fate of Una here. I believe it may even be an overcast version here. I'm not sure if you can still overcast it. I'm not sure, but let's see, it does a ton of damage down to these Phoenix Guards here. And they're just tearing them apart, and allowing these very brave Skeleton Warriors to kind of slowly cleave their way through. It does look like Teclis did rally over in the distance. That really needs to pull this Phoenix Scorpion off. Who is kind of been stuck in combat against these Phoenix Guards, have been pimped up with the Flaming Sword of Ruin now as well. Giving them increased damage, and giving them fire and magic weapons. You drop a nice little sandstorm on top of these guys, however, trying to do a little bit of damage, but that's a little bit of a swing and a miss. In the background, we do have Setcher who has managed to just start destroying these Eagle Claw bolt throws, and some Carrion have popped onto the other one, but it's been pinned back as well by Lofty Seagull. Teclis is running around, just being a little bit sneaky here. He's come back into the fray, he's healing up, he's doing a big pain overall. In the back, it looks like the Ushopti are in a little bit of trouble, and a big spell coming down. That would have tore my infantry up super badly, but luckily I managed to notice it. I moved my forces away, and instead we're going to now come back in for another charge on these Phoenix Guards and hopefully break them. So the front line's not going too bad. Now in the back line, we are actually slowly starting to deal with these Phoenixes. This unit is just running away, and we do have the Chosen of the Gods just pinging those long shots in, doing a huge amount of damage when they hit, and we're slowly but surely tracking these guys down. On the front line, I'm surprised at how long my Spearmen have held. So those Phoenix Guard don't have the best damage output. They're not too bad, but there was only 3 units of them, and the rest was just Lothar and Seaguard who've kind of been on the back foot a little bit, trying to defend these Eagle Claw boat foes who are slowly being harassed by Carrion and Setcher the Imperishable himself. Now let's have a nice little close-up here of the new blood pack I do have. These guys are all covering their cards, and hopefully every time one dies, they should explode, I believe. There we go, lots of blood. Nice tasty blood there, as the Tomb Scorpion does start pulling these guys apart. And then the back, Carrion just sweeping up his Eagle Claw bolt throws. Don't want them to come back at all into the fray and get any nice value. This other unit is trying to hunt down Teclis and just harass him as much as possible. It looks like we did manage to scare off this Flamesfire Phoenix, but it has rallied, so I really need to kind of force that off the field now, or it could be a big pain. This other unit of Chosen of the Gods here are looking like they're trying to avenge their fallen brethren here. We're pinging some shots into this Flamesfire Phoenix and doing a decent amount of damage, but this battle is really on a knife's edge at the moment. The power balance is slightly in my favour here, so we are grinding through these Phoenix Guards. But there's two very healthy units and a lot of healing. In the background, as you can see, Carrion getting that great value, chasing off those units. We have managed to damage these Flamesfire Phoenixes, and it looks like we've in fact managed to kill this one in the distance here with some nice shooting from these Ushopti. They're now going to turn their sides onto Teclis. And nice, also dropping a Spirit Leech down him, just really trying to get him off the field. Really gutted he came back. I couldn't finish him off earlier. I think this battle would be probably finished by now if his leadership wasn't here. So the Tomb Scorpions are starting to suffer now. There's constant attrition up against the Phoenix Guard. He's still doing pretty decent, you know, up to 32 kills there, which is pretty decent considering it's coming up against these really tough units that counter him quite heavily. In the background, it looks like we do have the Lich Priest running in, trying to help finish off Teclis. He has popped down the Flaming Sword on him. It looks like we might be able to break him. It's uncertain right now. And Tomb Scorpions coming over to help Setcher just finish off these units on the side. So I know I'm going to lose this centre pocket here. My infantry is slowly getting dragged down, so I'm just trying to get value wherever I can. The battle is really super close right now, and making sure these Ushopti are never too close to each other so I can get crossfire every time this Flamesfire Phoenix does come for a bit of harass. Now let's see what's going down here. So we have managed to scare off Teclis once again. There's a little goon squad going around, protecting the Setcher of this Tomb Scorpion and this Lich Priest, who's going to be hitting him in the back, which obviously neglects some of his melee defense, and he's not the tankiest guys overall, especially without his potion pops. So this Leech is doing a decent amount of damage and does drop another Spirit Leech, which I'm hoping should be able to finish him off. However, I do run headlong into some Phoenix Guards, which is not where he wants to be. He's going to be, you know, running away on his little bone horse here, trying to escape. So at the moment, just trying to avoid these Phoenix Guards and do the damage where I can. Looks like Ushopti in the back, getting that crossfire, These Chosen Gods are holding the line just to allow this Phoenix to be pinned in place. The arrows are coming in, and it looks like he may break off. He's super low health as well. Really good for me. There is another unit of Phoenix Guard back here, however they are really beaten up. So it looks like we have managed to crush these Lothran Sea Guard here, and Teclis is on the run, which is good for us. I don't think he's going to be coming back now. I don't think we'll let him escape. He has popped down a regrowth, but I think that's a bit too little too late. So let's have a little look what happens over here. So yeah, the Phoenix has been broken, and these Phoenix Guard probably aren't going to be able to reach these Chosen Gods. But disaster here, a bit of a rebirth. So the Phoenix has gone back to almost full health. He's almost certainly going to rally now and come back and be a massive nuisance. If Teclis had managed to survive, the power balance would probably be in his favour now with that big heal. But because he's gone and the leadership's going to be so poor, I still have a slight edge here. It's going to be tough. These Phoenix Guard are super tanky and still very healthy. So what we're trying to do at this moment is just use our added mobility, escape these units here, and come in and deal with these Phoenix Guard here and this Phoenix before having to commit our forces over here. In the distance as well, we do have our Leech Priest who's just going to hunt down this rather tattered unit of Lothran Sea Guard. So he does come in for a big strike, coming down into shops of Great Bows. The Setcher's going to be coming in, he's soon going to be popping his buff and charging in. So let's see what he does pop down now. Let's pop down the Blessing Blade. And also Incantation of Cursed Blade as well, which is also nice. Big buff there, getting added weapon damage and armor piercing. So he should be munching through this Flamefire Phoenix really quickly. And the Pigeon does try and waddle off and escape here, but it looks like it might end up being broken, and we still have those shots coming in. So do we still have 2 units here, or do we have 1 unit left of the shops here? And we still have the 2, but they are right next to each other now. They should do enough damage output to kind of scare off this Flamefire Phoenix wherever it comes about. And we have managed to rout off this unit over here of Lothran Sea Guard. Carrion were getting a little bit beaten up there, so they're just pulling back because they're still a decent unit in this matchup, just chasing off routing enemies and refusing to allow them to come back. Looks like the Flamefire Phoenix thought about coming in, but then again, once again, routes away. So let's just speed this up a little bit as the army does approach. Looks like we're trying to get the Carrion to chase off the Flamefire Phoenix, but it keeps on rallying, and they really do not want to obviously stand up to him in a fight, but it's got the constant fire coming from the Shopti. Should be able to pin this guy down, as he looks like he's coming down for one last brave charge. We're going to be getting in there with these big boys, hopefully protecting our Shopti. At this point, can just kite away and do a ton of damage to these Phoenix Guards. But they also run pretty low on ammo. They have a little bit. It looks like we have finally shattered that Flamefire Phoenix. So in the back, we've snuck the Tomb Scorpion round the flank here. He's going to be charging in and dealing with these Lothran Sea Guard, assisting them to carry him. And in the front, we are just going to be charging in Setch with Imperator, dropping down those slow buffs and pulling back these Ushops so they can just turn and fire into this mix. And right at the end here, we have saved our Ushops summon to the very end. Going to be getting a nice rear charge in, but with that it is army losses, and it is a Pyrrhic victory for our first ever Tomb Kings battle, which is pretty exciting. So let's go to the end stats. So well played there to Smurg you Anka. Sorry that I've absolutely butchered your name here, and I apologise for all the mumbling that has been going on during this. I am incredibly tired. I only got 1 hour's sleep last night, but after this I'm going to rest fully up for our big tournament live stream tomorrow, which will be very exciting, so please do tune into that. It's Death Before Dishonour. It's at 8 PM. We have a lot of cool competitors. I'm trying to remember them all off the top of my head. I know we have the returning champion Ben the Barman. We have A-Move Hacker, which is a bit of a Dowie legend. I'm just going to get the names of the other 2 up now. Don't want to let those guys down. So we do in fact have, let's have a little look, Croissant to Bert, who I believe is his first ever tournament, so that's very exciting for him. And Zach B. Sane, who's a very good tournament player. Seen him, I believe, on Janet on Occasions channel. So it's going to be very exciting. That is going to be 8 PM British time, so I hope you guys tune into that. It's going to be live streamed, which is very awesome. Let's have a little kind of analysis here. So of course a very sloppy play by me here, getting my Ushopti Corps quite badly. However, they managed to kind of expand outwards and actually deal with those Flamefire Phoenixes and do a ton of damage to Teclis, so they did their job overall. But mostly I was impressed with Setch with his 50 kills, getting into that back line, making these Eagle Claw Bolt Throws pretty much useless. And he actually did decent, up against his very elite Phoenix Guard. So that's my first ever game with Tomb King, so please do drop down, what matchups they're good at, what matchups they're bad at, as I've never played them, so I have no idea. Any builds you want me to try with them, just let me know. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please do consider leaving a like or subscribe, and it really helps out the channel, or of course, leave some comments. Peace, guys, stay awesome.